This is Selena Yvette, host of Stories from Planet Earth. Thanks for listening to the following show on Public House Media.
Hurt people, hurt people. Heal people, heal people. Hello, welcome to Choose to Rise. I'm so grateful that you've decided to push play today and that you've come back again. If you're a faithful follower, thank you so much for listening in. I appreciate that you share this podcast with others. I appreciate the feedback that I get from you. It's been so wonderful hearing what you're loving about the podcast, that you are so appreciative of the tips and the strategies that I share and just sharing real life. And so today I was like, you know what? I need to talk about this because it just happened the other day where someone sent me a very rude, intimidating message, not a Choose to Rise fan, but just in general. And I really kind of like, at first took me aback. Like I reacted like a normal person who has been bullied reacted. I was like, oh my goodness, what did I do? How did I offend this person? All the things. But then like, as I really like, thankfully it wasn't, it was digital. It was through a message. It wasn't like face to face, but I had time to sit and think. And I took my skills of reaction and contemplation and reflection and was able to analyze the situation and respond appropriately. But really it just reminded me of this quote, hurt people, and heal people, heal people. And it just makes me also really sad and more aware, if we weren't already aware, of the crazy things that are going on in this world and how everyone is just being super reactionary. Everyone is not necessarily feeling the feels, or maybe they're just feeling the feels too hard and they're not exactly sure what to do with those feelings. And so they act out. And so hurt people hurt other people, healed people help heal other people. And when you think about that, like being bullied is not an easy thing to cope with. And I would really like to hope and pray that the people that are lashing out are not intending to do that, right? Like they're just trying to process things. And so a lot of grace needs to be given in a lot of situations. But there are times where people really are just being mean, and being bullied is not an easy thing to cope with. And it can leave humans, kids especially, but kids and adults feeling helpless, vulnerable, and confused. And quite honestly, when I got this message the other day, I was thoroughly confused. I'd been working with this lady for a little while. She'd been talking about joining our team. She actually did join our team. And then all of a sudden, out of way left field, came this message of like, I don't know, like it was just, I think it was really miscommunication on both parts. But really just, she took something of offense, and it wasn't ever meant to be that way. So no matter what I had to say, I wasn't going to convince her with the facts. So when you come against things like this, it's really important to be able to be aware of your own emotions and reflect and figure things out. So I want to share this, not specifically the situation, but just kind of how, thinking in light of the situation, how we can make a change and do something different to respond to the situation. Because really, in all grand scheme of things, it's not what happens to us in life, it's how we respond to the things that happen in our life that matter the most. And so, if you had a real life bully in your face, or if you had a real life bully situation with your kids, you would say, like ignore the bully, right? We would tell them to tell the bully to stop. We would tell them to make a joke or laugh it away, or avoid the bully altogether, or stick with your friends, or tell an adult. Those kinds of things, right? But when it's an adult, it really comes down to, and kids as well, but like when it really comes down to it, like there are a lot of mean things going on out there, and a lot of hurtful and hateful things being said on social media and in news media and everywhere we look. And so really important right now, especially, that we build our self-esteem and we make it a core component of who we are. With a healthy self-esteem, you will be more confident. You will show up and identify your strengths. You will be able to identify your weaknesses. You'll be able to feel good about who you are. And having a healthy self-esteem also helps protect yourself from bullies, whether it's intentional bullying or not. I really don't feel like this woman that sent me the message was trying to bully me, but her tone and the way she responded to my responses was very, very bully-like, very aggressive. And so I think it just was really something that took me back, but I'm glad that I've spent the last few years really building my self-esteem and was able to talk about it right away, and just know that it was a miscommunication and misunderstanding and nothing to do with me. I feel like the book, You're a Badass by Jen Sincero really helped start that conversation in my head, and really started to change my mindset around those things with her concept that other people's opinions are none of your business. And that goes for good and bad opinions. And so what other people think about you, what other people think about the situation you're in or anything else is really none of your business. The only thing that matters is what you think. And remembering that those who bully others are looking for someone to react to their hurtful words or actions. They're trying to make someone else feel small. They're trying to make themselves look more confident and assertive, makes them feel powerful. And if you shrug off those kinds of things and make light of it and show no emotional reaction to it, you're less likely to have that bully react or try to do something again. But really fostering that self-esteem in yourself and in your children, especially, and being a good role model for how you respond to people that act that way, is really important. And especially now in these crazy times that we're in, that how we respond as adults and parents to the situations at hand is how our children are going to respond to the situations as well. So for instance, if I have a really good self-esteem and someone says something or does something that is completely false or hurtful or crazy or whatever, how I respond to that situation will be how my children respond to the situation as well. So I really want to just think about what are some ways that we can improve our self-esteem, as well as help our children develop a positive self-esteem about themselves as well. So one of the things we can do that goes a long way with building our children's self-esteem is spending time with them, building a relationship with them, creating relationships with the people that matter the most to us, and it will be a positive influence to them. So really be thinking about, who are your kids spending their time with? Who are your kids building relationships with? Who are the people, whether it's virtually, maybe it's, through a favorite TV show they have, or a celebrity of some kind, or books that they're reading, or any of the sorts. Who are they following on social media? Who are you plugging into? And also face to face, who are they getting connected to, where they can get unconditional love, but they can also kind of get, that tough love in a way too, where they're going to be able to have a safe place to talk to people. Another thing is to I would encourage you to pursue your passions. The best way to build your self-confidence is to really find a strength and live in it. Really reduces anxiety. It reduces, it creates confidence and an attitude of gratitude, as well as an attitude of accomplishment. And you can carry that through all areas of your life. The more likely that you can find success in something, in the strengths that you have. You can draw on the strengths that you're the God-given strengths that you have, and you can find something to really enjoy. Then they have a much more confident way about them, and they can find, maybe I'm not good at this, but I am really good at that. And that's, something to be super confident in. And it lets they're finding success in something. And so it lets the negativity flow off of them faster. And you as well. What is it that you love? What is it that you're passionate about? Where can you find success in your life? The other thing that I would say is to just allow yourself to make mistakes, right? We have the saying in our home that says, when I fail, I just keep trying, because when I fail is when I learn. And mistakes are a welcome thing here, right? We're encouraging my children, I'm encouraging myself, I'm really focusing on the solution, and not so how many times I've tried to figure it out, but that I'm actually working towards a solution. I can sit back and complain. I can try to pinpoint the problem. I can focus on the problem, but that gets me nowhere but focusing on the problem. I want not only to experience setbacks in my life, and I want to experience disappointment, so that I can understand and value the joy and the accomplishment that comes from achieving something. But I also want to make sure that I'm learning and I'm showing my children resiliency, and that you're never going to get it perfect, and it's never going to be right the first time. And if it is, like, that's a huge win, and you can celebrate that and keep moving forward. But allowing yourself to make mistakes and role modeling that resiliency for yourself and for your kids can definitely be something that will help build your self-esteem and kind of avoid that bully in the long run. Another thing that you can do is to volunteer, be somebody for something. I know right now probably isn't the easiest place to volunteer in some areas, but like, what can you do to help the people in need around you? How can you teach an attitude of gratitude and compassion for other people? So that, if they do see somebody being bullied, or that they are, being bullied themselves, they can show compassion to the bully and not so much fight back or feel diminished because the other person is trying to hurt them. Acknowledging good choices. Many times we try to correct bad behavior and choices and then forget to acknowledge the good things that happen in our life. And a lot of, we're human. We're generally going to focus on all the bad things before we focus on all the good things. So pointing out the positives, keeping that gratitude journal, keeping that accomplishment list of like, what are the things that brought me joy today? What are the things that I feel accomplished in today? How did I help change the world today? What's sort of the question that you ask for yourself at the end of the day? But ending the note on a positive light, ending the day on a positive light, ending the situation and a good thing. One of the things that I always ask my kids, usually at the end of the day, is like, what was your favorite thing you did today? What was something that brought you joy? Or if we get done with something, like my son played baseball this summer, or if we had an event of some kind, like we went to see family or whatever, is like, what was your favorite thing that happened today? And always focusing on the good, and then why was that? And then really focusing on the positive things around you. So that just helps frame kids' minds and your own mind as well, of like looking for the good, because there is good in every single situation. The next one I have for you is just to trust yourself, right? Trust your competency, trust your compassion, trust your ability to make good choices, and that you can trust yourself, and that you can understand that you are capable of doing a lot of things. You have the belief in yourself that you can overcome things, that you can do things on your own scale, and that you can, you have the character that it takes to overcome and be successful, that you have the leadership skills, the responsibility skills, the courage, the cooperation with others, that you can show empathy to others, and that you're super generous. Like when you can praise those kinds of things in yourself, recognize those things in yourself with some self-reflection, but you can also praise them in your kids. It really, really focuses on the character, which is going to go a heck of a lot farther than the thing, right? So like if I were to only praise my son for winning or throwing pitches in the baseball game, that wouldn't be very productive, because he's not always going to throw he's always going to throw strikes. And when he throws a ball, he's going to feel bad about himself. But if I can praise the character of who he is and really appreciate and highlight the things that I saw of, he was able to pick himself back up after he threw a couple balls. He was resilient in that. And I use those words, resilient and positive and a good teammate and encouraging, and use the vocabulary that I want them to hear and to be as part of those characteristics. And that becomes a part of their language and what they focus on. And that helps make them a better person and helps them become resilient in the situation. I also want to help people feel like they can be assertive, but not aggressive. So, most people are not naturally assertive, right? We need to be taught that we can stand up for ourselves. It's important to learn the difference between assertive and aggressive. It's really easy to explain that, aggressiveness is trying to force people to think certain things or to do certain things their way, while that's aggression. But assertive kids and people are respectful of other people's differences and ideas, but are not afraid to share their own beliefs and ideas. Remembering that assertive feels comfortable defending themselves, where someone is the other thing of being aggressive is doing something hurtful. And I really feel like maybe the lady that was sending me the message was trying to be assertive, but she came off very aggressive. And that's just the way I interpreted it. But I was able to respond appropriately with love and grace and not get aggressive back. It would have been very easy to just get defensive right away and, like, well, you said, or you did that, or based on what you said, this, like, but I wasn't going to go there because, like I said, hurt people, and I'm not about to go down that road. But I was matter of fact and assertive in the sense of, this is what I saw and came from a feeling standpoint. And we just kind of agreed to disagree, I guess. We ended the situation amicably, for lack of a better word, but like, it really just comes down to knowing that you can stand up for yourself and what you believe and try to correct a situation without becoming aggressive. Well, that's where bullying comes in. And so, sometimes you're going to come across people or things that are like this, but sometimes it's yourself. Have you ever had that bully in your own head where you're putting yourself down, where you're bashing yourself, or you're that negative words in your own head? I hope that that's another podcast. We can talk about self-talk in the future, and I've got a few other podcasts about it in the past, but I really hope that we're really just kind of talking about these things when we're thinking about outside people and how we're responding to situations that we get put in. But it's really important as well that you have positive self-talk when you're working on your own self-esteem, that you're talking up to yourself and about yourself in a positive way, and that you're making sure that you're being respectful of yourself, you're setting healthy boundaries, that you are working towards improving your health, improving your mindset, improving how you show up in the world, which will make you look more confident and have other people treat you in a different way because you're showing up more confidently. And, self-confidence and positivity are two of the greatest gifts that we can have, that parents can give their kids, that they can role model for them, but also that we can just have as adults. And people with high self-esteem not only feel loved and confident, but they also grow in strength and resiliency and feel like empowered adults. And when you can feel that positivity, you can extend more grace, you can have more trust and more faith in what's to come, and know that things are going to turn out okay, and have a heck of a lot less fear in the world. And when that can happen, we can have less fear and less spreading of hate. We're going to have a better world. And so that's really what this really all kind of boils down to, is that if you can really focus on improving your self-confidence and improving the positive nature of who you are, that energy is going to be out into the environment, and that's going to impact other people. And if we can have more positive impact with other people and keep spreading that message of love and hope and resiliency and strength and empowerment, we're going to get a heck of a lot farther than we are with fear and all the things that are happening in the social media and all the world out there right now. So I would encourage you today to be a light for someone. I would encourage you to be a healed person that is looking to heal other people, and to, show grace and compassion to the bully in your life, and to really just show up in a way that is going to spread some more love in the world. I hope today that something I've shared with you sticks, is helpful, and makes you think, because that's really what we're about here at Choose to Rise, is to help people rise up out of their current situation to live their best life. And right now, our current situation in this world is a lot of scary fear and hate throwing and a lot of dividedness. But if we can come together with hope and patience and love and encouragement and empowerment, we can change it. We can get back to what we were wanting this world to look like and what it should look like, with togetherness and hope. So I hope that something helps you today and that you feel encouraged and supported. And if you feel so called, I would greatly appreciate for you to share this with someone else in your life who needs to hear it. Tell other people about Choose to Rise. It's the greatest way to be able to extend the reach of what we're doing here, and help people just rise up out of their current situation to live their best life. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you back here again next Friday. Yeah, we're heading to Friday shows only, which is going to be a little bit different, but awesome, I think, because I'll be able to share, really dig deep and bring some really well thought out content to you now. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for you. And if you have thoughts or ideas of topics that you want me to cover, or things that you want my thoughts on, you can shoot me an email at choosetoriseup@gmail.com and get connected. Again, I love hearing from you, and I love seeing you share this on social media. So that is a huge encouragement to me. I hope you have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you back here again next week.